Considering how much fun I had covering the newest darling of the left and her attempt at trying to win back the young male vote, I was planning on revisiting her, but also her uh, boy toy, and we're gonna basically roast the ever living crap out of them. Let's get right into it. Before I get into it, clarifier, she has 320,000 followers on Twitter. She's been presented with Biden and Kamala. She has obviously a big following, a big heart, a big series of medical issues, and she calls herself Texas Tough. And so, frankly, it's fair game. So, first post for today. This person's making fun of her, saying she ate an entire pizza by herself. Now, this is her, and that's her. Very happy. Is she happy that she's with other people? Happy that Kamala Harris lost? Definitely not that one. Or maybe C, she sees all this food in front of her. Now, she retorts and defends herself. Now, the best way to deal with people making fun of you on the internet is to feed the trolls. I mean, I guess that's the lesson she learned after feeding herself all this pizza. And so, anyway, she replies saying, "This is what it looks like to have friends. Sorry, you're unfamiliar." Your resident gay guy went, you ate with that. Oh, wait, another food joke, sorry. But anyway, the point being is that, first of all, there's no denunciation, no disavowal of whether or not she ate the pizza herself. Now, I'm trying to study to become a lawyer, and I'm going to tell you right now that if I were accused of this and I were dumb enough to feed the trolls, because again, I am what I eat, right? So, anyway, if I were to do that, I'd say, look, I did not eat that myself. Here are my friends, because I'm such a braggart. But instead, she just tries to condescend people from a soapbox, which just broke just now that I said it. But however, I do think that Olivia just felt it herself, actually. So as we go ahead, I'm going to be covering the Simps. I don't know how she has any that are going to defend her, but then also people that are going to make fun of her. Okay, and I'll give them credit. So Joshua Reed Equal says, "I genuinely admire how little things get to you. It just blows my mind how much hate you receive just for existing, and yet you keep going. Seriously, keep it up. What the wait? Anyway." And then she says, "Can't let dumb mother effers make me sad." This guy says, "Looks like your friends are going hungry." That's brutal. And then this one says, "I don't see any friends. Did you eat them too?" Good question. Now, some philosophers in the chat are saying, "Is the pizza your friends?" End quote. Mm. Now, you can imagine her crying typing this out, right? "Look, you can make fun of my weight and looks all you want." No, because then you're going to cry. "And I really don't give a shit, but at least make it entertaining. Maybe make it creative. Give me something." What, like more food? "I've never heard or seen before. Be the best at what you can do." It sounds like she's trying to yell at a chef not making her enough pizza. Like the bottom line is that first of all, reacting at all shows that it's affecting you, unless you're getting paid to do so. So I mean, feeding the trolls, like I said, is just so stupid. And then secondly, this is such a cop out. It's one of the barest essential copes ever. Is not to retort, not even to reply, but to instead say, "Oh, I know you punched me, but can you punch me someplace else? Oh, I'm getting bored of this. Yeah, I'm getting my ass kicked, but can you do it someplace else? Can you like dragonfly kick me? Like how else do you want it?" If y'all didn't know, anti-trans advocate basically Riley Gaines has been in a Twitter beef that I don't care to elaborate on against Simone Biles, who looks like a man herself. So a little bit of infighting there. However, we do have this bright woman over here, Olivia, putting her 2 cents in her 200. Nah, it's not 200, 300 pound opinion, and she got roasted. She got roasted by this guy to the right that says, "This is the last time you climbed up a flight of stairs. You're the last person who should be commenting on someone's athletic abilities." Now, if you see here, I don't know what the context is, where she looks like she's between smoking a bong, giving head, and surviving a plane crash. We don't know. Now, how does she do a comeback? She says, "Actually, this is right after I left your mom's house. Happy Pride." Now, I can believe that she ate out the mother of the person that posted that joke because obviously she's into eating stuff, right? I mean, I don't put it past her. Fuck it, eating carpet's the lowest calorie thing she's ever had in her life. So I'm not even hating, but it's kind of a corny joke to be clear. This one goes, "Nothing has made me mistrust the mainstream media more than being a new media creator. Watching how they distort narratives and skew headlines is horrific. I promise that I will never do that." First of all, you're already lying more than the media by saying that the trolling doesn't get to you, that it never penetrates your thin skin. The only thing that's thin about you. Secondly, this is so stupid, so tasty, call it, so delicious to hear a Democrat shill who's trying to make a living off doing exactly that, saying that the mainstream media, which is controlled mostly like 2/3 Democrat, is going to be what? Like, "Oh, I don't trust them," but you are a Democrat. That's like if I said, "I really distrust Fox News. I really distrust Tucker Carlson." Like, you know who you're barking up the tree of. This one might seem like a low blow, but it's all fat down there anyway. But she says, "Well, I've got no plans right now. No plans for Saturday night. What are y'all doing?" Three question marks. Number one. Number two. Loser alert. Why would you announce that? Like, what do you think? Is this parasocial? Is she just like eating a tub of ice cream, watching Gossip Girl? What are you guys doing? Like, what are you expecting? This is just an L. Oh, I'm doing nothing Saturday night. That's lame. You're what, 23, and you're doing nothing? Pathetic. So Bob answers her question by saying, "I'm working out at the gym to avoid looking like you." Brutal. Okay, now keep in mind, this is all under the auspices that, again, these liberals are trying to appeal to young men such as myself, and there's frat guys and all these guys that are like 20 years old. And what they're known to do is make non politically correct jokes. Now, this genius, JB, who looks homosexual, not a coincidence. Anyway, this is like Kendrick versus Drake beef if it was P. Diddy versus R. Kelly. Now, how is that going to resonate with frat dudes? Okay, so they're comparing Elon Musk or Trump to either P. Diddy or R. Kelly. Now, how is that going to land with football players, with jocks? You're trying to win that vote back. How is that appealing to them? This appeals to women that are stupid as hell, number one. Number two, millennials. Number three, it's just not an applicable analogy to make. Now, this 45-year-old looking 25-year-old is Micah Efron, who's a first-year college student or whatever. And he is apparently, like I said, a law student, should be smart, should be able to rhetorically defend himself, yet he can't. And he was in the video that went viral with the large lady, what was her name? Olivia Julianna. Okay, now, this guy has had some bangers, and by bangers I mean some real duds, and so we're going to cover that right now. So this conservative Terrence Williams says, "I stand with ICE." Basic enough thing, nothing controversial about it. Now, you look at this guy, Micah Efron, and he says, "Tread on me." I don't even want to say it out loud, okay? He says, "Daddy," and then the "tread on me" thing, which is silly. And then you add on to that it's the libertarian flag, obviously. But then you add in the coiled snake with a ball gag on and a MAGA hat. Now, this is not appealing to young men. This guy should be my age, and yet he's still tone deaf, which happens a lot with these like sociopathic ladder climber aspiring politicians. They're people that weren't really getting along with people their own age to begin with. They're mentally 40 and physically 23 and twinkish. And so these guys are just not landing any of these shots. I mean, who finds this funny? You think some frat dude's going to find it funny? Like, think about it that way. Would you show this to a college football quarterback and say, yo, look at this political meme, dog? Not going to happen. Not going to land. Also, for the pro-pride, pro-LGBT people, how rich is it that you're using gay jokes against conservatives as an own, as a pejorative? Because a conservative could say, a man wearing a ball gag and saying that phrase is stupid and gross and demeaning. But a liberal would say that's cool and it's kosher. However, they use that against conservatives as if it's a bad thing, which is just stupid. It's like if an alcoholic were to call somebody else a drunk as if to imply they're a loser, which implies that they're also a loser. Okay? All right, now for the rest of the video, we're going to actually look back at what they posted recently, this video that went viral, and look at some of the key moments. We're also going to tee off on the Pete Buttigieg wannabe on the bottom right of the screen, okay? Because why not?
I want you to talk about that Substack, and I also want you to talk about one of the newer articles that you wrote about why men drifted right in the previous election. I consider myself a resident expert on this because I am a man, so I feel like we could have an interesting
Once in chat if you believe that. Like the video if you believe. No, I'm just kidding. That'd be a horrible thing for me to say. But because I'm a man, are you sure?
Conversation on the conclusions you reached in that article.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's rewind. I want you guys, and again, I'm a crazy person, but look at his mouth, pause, for subtle movements. Notice this guy's not comfortable in his own skin. He's, like I said, a wannabe sociopath. Let's see. Look at his mouth.
Drifted right in the previous election. I consider myself a resident expert on this because I am a man, so I feel like we could have an interesting conversation on the conclusions you reached in that article.
Yeah, so my Substack it's called A New Perspective, oliviajulianna.substack.com, and we're actually very close to hitting.
Do you see what the hell I'm talking about? This like subtle movement is so weird. It's so strange. It's so strange. It's just like he's not happy to be there. He's like halfway pretending to care, halfway pretending to smile, halfway trying to pretend like he's like smirking, I guess. The Joker is less creepy than this person. Okay, now we're going to focus more so on the guy speaking because, and I won't call him a man because that would be heretical to the term, but this guy is like super creepy. Let's just get into it.
Through their own cultural lens instead of telling them specifically what we mean every single time.
Right. The issue with pandering is it looks like you're pandering.
Whoa,
you don't seem genuine whenever you're saying something different in two different rooms with different demographics in them.
This
Even if you are
so
being genuine,
strange.
but sometimes it's just not, right? Like the Kamala Harris's agenda for black men. I don't think that really went anywhere because it just seems so kind of contrived. It seems so
Now, what's weird about this guy being so smug about saying that is that, number one, yeah, of course, Kamala saying she's for the young black men or whatever is stupid, contrived, and it's pandering. However, you are two people that are not young men that were swayed from blue to red. You are people that were already blue and are strange skinwalkers. In the case of one over the other, a lot more skin. And so, anyway, the point being, though, is that, I mean, Juliana is somebody who cannot appeal to young men, probably does not have a lot of success with frat dudes. I mean, I can conclude that. I bet Gorlek the Destroyer probably has more novelty, sexually even, to these guys than she does, just because it's so crazy. This other person, Efron or whatever his name is, Micah, again, you're pandering to young men. You're not a young, like you could be physically 22, 23, but the difference being is that you're not someone who gets along with normal people. And I'm already autistic as it is. However, I'm still leagues and like, I don't know, bounds ahead in the conversation of actually getting along with people in the demographic I'm trying to not even appeal to, but to be chill with. And these people are just having no chill. They're anally really retentive, to bring up a Freudian term, but still crazy. Okay, now this clip will demonstrate why they're, by textbook definition, a lolcows. Not a fat joke this time, though it could be.
Fallout of Reagan, Bill Clinton mentality. But the difference is that most Democrats don't have the charisma that Bill Clinton had.
You don't either.
And so instead of leaning on the charisma, they lean on the details. And I just
You
don't
have
think
no
it translates
details.
the same way. We just come off as a bunch of dorks. Like
You can't lean on anything, by the way.
that's just the truth. We just come
You come off, oh my God, wait a minute, rewind.
instead of leaning on the charisma, they lean on the details. And I just don't think it translates the same way. We just come off as a bunch of dorks. Like
How is that not a self-felt, not a self-own? Jesus.
that's just the truth. We just come off as a bunch of dorks.
Has any Republican ever said that in the past 2 years of, yeah, as a party, we look like dorks. As young people, we look like dorks. We're pandering too much. We're falling on deaf ears. And she just said that about herself. I mean, the Democrats are down bad. I mean, people make videos about how the Democrat polling is the lowest it's been in the entire life cycle of the party. However, this is really just the crystallization and a visual demonstration of that exact phenomena in light.
Nobody wants to listen to a dork.
I think voters like people they think are smart,
That's why they're not listening to you, by the way, unless they're making fun of you.
but they don't like people that they don't understand, right? They want to feel like they understand what you're saying and it's smart, not just like, I don't understand what they're saying, therefore they're smart, right? And they also like simple solutions, right? Like,
Is this guy either 3 feet tall or is he sitting down but still only like 5'2"? Like how the TV stand, by the way, only is probably like 2.5 feet high. Like seriously, this guy's he's like 5'4" max. That's crazy.
like we don't need to talk about each detail of each healthcare policy. We can just say, like you said, what we're going to do, right? And you can tell people the basic details about how you're going to do it, but you don't need to really get in the weeds. And you also don't need to talk about 20 things at once.
That's so patronizing. So you see how he butters it up with this Dalisto lawyer, try to what do you call it? Make an impression of one, where he's saying, look, we don't need to be overly complicated. Some people don't understand this. Yeah, these young men, they're too fucking stupid. Don't say 20 things at once. Just give a one sentence answer to things. That's patronizing as hell. And I actually agree with him. Frat dudes, like in general, are like really narrow-minded. Like they don't really follow political philosophy as virgins do, obviously. However, the way he puts it is not only not succinct, but it's also demonstrative of the fact that the guy thinks he's better than everyone. And look how that's working out.
I think that's part of the issue with the Democratic coalition. The Republican coalition is like, we want border security, tax cuts, whatever. There's like 5 things that they actually care about. And then there's minor things. And for the Democrats, it's like, well, we're really diverse, actually. We want a lot of different things, but we need to learn to prioritize because not every issue deserves to be brought into the spotlight just for any reason. Whenever you go to a door as a Democrat and you knock on the door to talk to a voter about the things that your party supports, they should already know what those things are. If they don't, that means that you're not doing a good job messaging. If you go to somebody and you ask,
What is this advice? What is this advice? This is such picky BS from people that don't really have skin in the game. Not that Juliana could fit in there, but my point being, though, is that they're condescending, they're smug, they're out of touch, they don't know what the hell they're doing. It's embarrassing. Look, I don't want the video to be too long, but there's just too many L's, okay?
No, guys, what are we doing here? I think of it as America, or voters in general, when they're deciding who they want to vote for, they want a mom and they want a dad. Not to be homophobic, because there can be, same-sex parents here. But they want a mom.
Okay, do you see my point, guys? Like, seriously? Like, do I even have to argue this? You're appealing to young men, okay? And you said Americans need a mom and a dad. First of all, patronizing. Fuck you. Number 2. Oh, and then caveat, by the way, I know there's same-sex couple. That's the entire fucking problem with the Democrats, by the way. Never mind the socialism, never mind the border. It is this stupid, contrived, pro-gay, super hammed, and no, that's not another meat reference, but seriously, like very ham-fisted approach towards incorporating all these people to the exclusion of people that don't give a shit about it, like college dudes. Jesus. Embarrassingly stupid and tone deaf.
A dad. They want someone who, in times of uncertainty, can bring them comfort and can make them feel like there's someone there for them. And then
She just wants to mommy young men. Oh, you gotta feel safe. No, no, get me affordable housing. Have a job market that works for us. That's what we're asking. We're not asking for a mom or even a dad, for that matter. Andrew Tate was a close second though, because a lot of guys looked up to him. But that's aside the point. He wasn't fat like you.
also want someone who's going to be stern, who's going to have their back, and who's going to say the tough things that need to be said. And
Okay, here's a tough thing for you. Okay, Olivia, you gotta lose some weight, and by some, I mean like some part of 1,000 pounds. So whether that be 100 pounds, 150 pounds, even maybe 200 pounds, I don't know how heavy you are. I don't want to know either. Point being is that you need to be able to look at a scale and be under 200 pounds. Can you do that for me? Please. Anyways, that's the tough thing. That's the squeeze. Subscribe if you want more content like this. Like the video if you liked it. And we'll see y'all on the next one. Adios.